Hello book gremlins, welcome back to my channel. We've survived April somehow, and I read a wild mix of books this month. I read 9 books, which is amazing for me. Some of them were absolute bangers, some were rage inducing, and there were a few books that made me want to scream into a pillow. Enjoy and not enjoy. So grab a tea, settle in, let's talk about my April reading wrap-up. First book I read in April was The Lost Elemental by Tessa Hale. I actually read all 3 books in this trilogy, one after the other. This is the Royals of Kingwood Academy series. I picked this up because I was craving a fun Elemental Academy romantasy that gave me like Zodiac Academy vibes. This did not give me exactly what I expected, but then it did give me a girl with mysterious powers, 4 hot princes, and a ton of potential. That's the key word in this review, is potential. So Aura is a half elemental shoved into an elitist magical school full of prejudice and boys with baggage. She is soft, she's vulnerable, she deals with panic attacks, but I really needed more fire from her. Like, yes girl, cry it out, but also stand up and throw a punch for once. I definitely saw Avatar: The Last Airbender vibes in this, which I loved, but the plot was a little too safe. Very predictable. It was very comfortable in its tropiness. Now, the boys are definitely where the spice lives, though it's still fairly soft in book 1. Atlas is a delicious cinnamon roll. Kai is a flirty rogue. Phoenix is the brooding protector, and Riven is the walking red flag with a redemption arc. Read it and you can definitely see the Zodiac Academy boys in it. Now, their dynamics are lovely, the romantic tension promising, the world building, and you know me, I am a world building girl. Give me all of the world building. Sprinkle it here, sprinkle it there. I need it absolutely everywhere. But in this book, very lightly seasoned. Like white chicken. Would I read book 2? I already did. I went straight on because it was promising. And yes, book 2, The Last Aether. This is where things should have got deeper, should have got spicier and more intense. Instead, we hit a little bit of a slump. Book 2 really did have a great setup. Aura is recovering from a traumatic cliffhanger ending and finally sealing her bond with her mates. But instead of like escalating the stakes, it fell into this kind of really weird loop of attack, trauma, recovery, repeat. It was very repetitive, including the spice. I really did struggle with Aura in this book. She cries a lot. And I get it. Like, I get it, girl, you've been through a lot, but I wanted you to show some active growth. I wanted her to grow. Her powers are supposedly unmatched, but most of the big moments actually happen off page or through vague surges that leave her unconscious and vulnerable again. She always needs saving by the main male characters. Her ties to her past, like her best friend and her family, they're basically non existent. And at some point, it felt less like trauma realism and more like narrative avoidance. But, and this is a big but, Riven. Riven carries this book on his emotionally stunted, broody shoulders. His growth, his vulnerability, the way he interacts with the other males, especially Phoenix. Yes, chef's kiss. Their dynamics were lovely. Also, the bond deepens between Aura and her guys, and we do get some romantic payoff, though it still was not the emotional depth that I was craving. World building for you girly, still very thin. The magic systems were very underexplored, but I was invested. I was two books, knee deep in 2 books, needed to finish it off and just hope that the finale came through. So I did begrudgingly go into Queen of Quintessence. I gave this one 2 stars. It's a finale. It should have hit. It should have hit. It should have devastated me in a really good way, but this just fizzled. Queen of Quintessence was unfortunately the weakest book in the trilogy for me. Aura spends about 70% of the book either passed out, running away, or being rescued by vague magical fixes. All throughout the book, we're told like she's the first of her kind in ages. She's powerful, but she never earns it. And I need my FMCs to earn it. Come on, guys. The final act had zero weight. The romance was lacking. It was repetitive. The resolution, very unsatisfying. I wanted emotional catharsis, and I got a time skip epilogue instead. Side characters vanish. The academy remains a loose backdrop, and the magical politics never get explored. And ladies, can we please talk about the random use of birth control as a plot convenience when Aura literally can't stay awake long enough to eat breakfast, let alone plan anything? This series really did have promise, especially with the Zodiac Academy vibes in the very first book, but let down, and Riven deserved better. So I had a really good month for 5 6-star books. 6 stars, yeah, I'll get to them. My first 5-star was I Am Not Jessica Chen by Liang. I was given this by HarperCollins. Thank you, HarperCollins. Now, this book wrecked me. It is YA. It's quiet, powerful, painfully real. Jenna Chen wakes up in her Golden Girl cousin's body. It's very much like Freaky Friday, but she slowly starts to disappear from her old life. It sounds like magical realism, but it hits like a contemporary. The themes of identity burnout, eldest daughter pressure, unreal, hit home, reminded me of when I was younger. The love interest, Aaron, now he's soft and he's steady and he's everything you want in a book boy. Their romance is really gentle, it's not overwhelming, and it definitely doesn't overwhelm the story. It's just enough to like anchor it in something warm while everything else spirals around her. Now, if you have ever felt second best, or like you needed to perform to be loved, or your creativity was always second to someone else's expectations, this book is for you. My next book was Can I Tell You Something by Holly June Smith. She is an indie author and she's fastly becoming one of my auto-buy authors because, let me tell you, I gave this book 4.5 stars. The reason I picked this book up is because I was told it was about an audio narrator. Now, imagine discovering your favourite audio erotica narrator is your brother's best friend. Now you're stuck in a chalet with him over Christmas in France. This book is absolutely unhinged in the best way, and there are tie-in audios on Quinn. Highly recommend going to listen to them. Spice is top tier, the tension is hilarious and awkward and so real, but beyond the smut, which is lovely, there's a beautiful emotional arc. Hannah and Cameron actually see each other, and the way their relationship evolves is so tender, so warm. The audiobook version as well is perfection. Duet narration done right. So because I fell in love with that book, I picked up another book by Holly June Smith, which is also 4.5 stars, and that is called The Best Book Boyfriend. You can see why I was drawn to it. I cried, I swooned, I highlighted so many quotes I had to stop and charge my Kindle. Cara and Luke are healing from trauma and heartbreak. They're very slow burn, and their romance over shared love of books was absolutely everything. She gets him to read romance books. It's very tender, it's very emotional, there's just enough spice to balance the angst. Luke is a cinnamon roll with a tragic backstory, and honestly, I just want him for myself. He is the best book boyfriend. This one felt like a love letter to romance readers for me. I adored absolutely every single second. This was a reread for me, but The Light That Blinds Us by Andy Darcy Theo, 4.5 stars, rounded up to 5. It is YA, it's still phenomenal, still chaotic, still full of heart. Alexis is a teenage disaster, and I love him. This reread was in prep for book 2, The Dark That Hides Us, and I also got to attend the release party in London last week. It was such a moving night. It was great to see Andy and his girlfriend live again. They are just the most adorable couple. It was really great to meet fellow readers I'd only ever spoken to online and meet some new friends and feel the joy that this little bookish community has in person. It was amazing. This is actually my first time reviewing the Like That Blinds Us on YouTube, even though I've been shouting about this book and Andy's work on social media for, well, since anyone would listen to me. The book blends elemental powers, mental health themes. The mental health themes are brilliant. The found family is incredible and emotional chaos in a way that's nostalgic and fresh at the same time. Percy Jackson meets teenage therapy sessions, then I need an adult one after reading book 2. Thanks, Andy. But yeah, I love it. My first 6-star that I'm going to tell you about is Blood Over Brighthaven by Wang. This book absolutely destroyed me. Brilliant. Perfection. It's a masterpiece. And honestly, it felt so raw and timely. The parallels between this story and what's happening in the world right now, especially for women, hit me in the chest like a freight train. I finished it and cried for a solid half hour. It made me cry for the women who are still fighting, for the ones who came before us, for the ones who never got to tell their story. It just made me cry a lot. It literally makes me emotional thinking about it. It is gaslamp academia fantasy. There's morally grey characters. There's unapologetically ambitious heroine. If The Sword of Kaigan was a masterpiece, this is her equally ruthless cousin. The female main character, Siona, she is not here to be liked, and I was obsessed with her. Like, she is not a likable character, but she's there to be understood. The book is intellectual, it's devastating, and very, very deeply human. The themes hit so hard: power, truth, legacy, sacrifice, and Thomal. The main male character, he's quiet and he's devastating perfection. The prose is always sharp in Emma Wang's books. I just adore her so much. The tension is unbearable, the payoff breathtaking. I cannot stop thinking about it. It took me a good 30% to get in, but I am a mood reader. But once I was in, DNA is changed. And my last book, The Ballad of the Last Dragon by C.A. Farran. Katie is a very good friend of mine. I love her writing. She's very lyrically written, like Sarah A. Parker I would compare her to. But this was a warm hug wrapped in tavern music and longing stares. Yearning, the yearning. Sylvain the Bard, who is Elven, and Yaramir the Knight are everything I want in a romantasy pairing. Their banter, their emotional tension, the ache in every single interaction was beautiful. This book made me laugh. It made me cry very early on and highlight half the pages in my Kindle version. If you love found family, chosen family, grumpy sunshine, slow burn, quests with heart, you need this. It's funny, it's emotional, it's sharp, and it's so utterly charming. It's so very different to Blood Over Brighthaven, my 2 best books of the month. So that was April. I read 9 books. That is incredible for me. So yeah, multiple breakdowns, a book party, 2 absolute 6-star standouts. Have you read any of these? If you have, let me know below. Are you going to read any of these? If you've got any more recs for slow burn romantasy, fantasy with emotion, or books that will probably make me cry again, let me know in the comments. Like, I love a bit of emotional trauma. As always, thank you for watching and sticking around with me and supporting my little dream. Please like, please subscribe, please leave a comment. For fuck's sake. And I'll see you in the next video.